Welcome back, everybody, to the Don't Revive Your Friends podcast. I'm your co-host, Sean, and alongside me, as always, who do I have?
The actual host, Hangtime.
All right, well, rip my dreams, I guess, forever there. And today, we're going to bring you some joy. We're going to bring you some happiness because we're going to be discussing current games that we are playing, which I'm really excited about because I'm playing a few, but I'm really interested to hear what you're playing.
Yeah, I've been playing one game. I've been playing quite a few games. I'm pretty excited to talk about it as well. I'm actually surprised you brought me back on here, for being honest. The last one got some hate comments. A lot of people were just not happy with what I had to say about Pikmin, and as well as the detective game. So I'm just glad to be back.
Yeah, well, if I'm being absolutely honest, I didn't have anybody else, so there we go.
I got that going for me.
Absolutely. So what are you playing? What games are you playing?
Yeah, I think the first one, which it's going to take me a while to beat, is Persona 5 Royal for Switch. Is it Royal or Royale?
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I keep saying Royal.
I'm going to stick with Royal then.
Because Royale sounds like Battle Royale. And, a Persona Fortnite collaboration would be pretty cool now that I think about it. They have guns in the game.
See?
Oh my god, I kind of want that. Yeah, so I'm going to stick with Royal, though.
Yeah, so I've been playing Royal for Switch. I actually just finished 4 on PS4. Or excuse me, Persona 5, like the OG one on PS4, the tail end of last year. And I really liked it. And then I saw that they dropped 5 for the Royal for the Switch. And I heard that there's some good extra content in there. It was like $30. I had a discount already with like a $5 off thing with GameStop. So I'm like, $25, why not? And
well worth it.
I've lost countless hours in Persona 5 Royal now. Probably one of my favorite RPGs I've ever played, to be perfectly honest. I don't know if it's just like the music, like the aesthetics of it, the voice acting, pretty much everything as a whole. I really, really like. That being said, it is a long fucking game. So it's a huge commitment, and there's times where I'm like, holy crap, can we just get this like story like rolling a little bit? But still, really, it's just an awesome game. It's like one of those games too where you often like kind of think about it just like when you're at work or just like sitting on the toilet, like, oh yeah, that was a sick scene, or like you get like the random voice clips in your head, like, oh, you're back, shit like that.
So how long did the original, not the Royal version, how long did that take to beat?
It took I think it was close to 90 hours for me. To be honest, I did kind of rush through the end, and I think if I took my time on it, it probably would have been 100 hours. But with I think there's like a whole additional storyline in Royal with some other content. So I've heard it's 100 hours plus. So I'm assuming because I've been taking my time a lot more this time around, I'm probably going to drop like 120 hours into it. Yeah,
that's a big, like a big time commitment for a game nowadays.
I could probably learn a language with that time.
Oh, absolutely. But it just goes to like remind me when Red Dead Redemption 2 came out and everybody told me, hey, it's a 65-hour-long campaign. I was like, no way, right? It's Red Dead. It's basically Grand Theft Auto with horses. How can you fit 65 hours of campaign into this? And they did, really. It took like 80 hours for me to complete everything, side missions and everything. And I remember getting to the end of it and being pretty exhausted, right? I know you said you skipped through a little bit at the end, or you fast-forwarded a little bit.
I did kind of rush, yeah. I was kind of like, let's get this over with.
Right. And now, were you satisfied with the ending, though? That's the big question.
It was kind of a weird mix of, that was awesome, but also like, finally I'm done with this game. It's kind of like when you finish like a really long book. Yeah, but like I also wanted to keep playing, but I was also like, I'm never going to play this game ever again. But then I saw it on Switch. I'm like, that's too tempting not to pick it up.
And you can't help it. Now, Persona 5 has been a game I've been attempting to play for years now. And I will start it up and I will play a few hours at a time and then get really into it. And then I think, honestly, I am discouraged knowing that like I'm only 20 hours out of the 100 hours into it. I'm like, oh my God, that's a long fucking time to get to that end. And then I have to play something like fast. Like I have to get into a match and play something because I'm scared of commitment.
It's a long there's a lot of dialogue and it's a long time to sit and just like wait for stuff to happen. Whereas like you're saying, you just want to pick up and play a quick game. So that's why I've been playing this with a mixture of other games, because I can't just sit here and play Persona like 7 days a week. I have to kind of play here and there and come back to it. And that's why I think it's actually perfect for the Switch, because it's kind of just one of those games where I just want to tackle it like little bits at a time. So if I'm just like, I don't know, like watching some Shark Tank or the Wizards lose, I'll just kind of boot up some Persona, knock out a little bit of it, and come back to it like a couple days later. It doesn't feel like a whole like process to set up my PlayStation and turn it on. I sound like such a lazy asshole right now. I'm complaining about turning on a PlayStation.
That first world problem right there.
Yeah, I have to get up and press the button. But yeah, the Switch is perfect, and it really overall it looks. There's a couple different things that look a little off of the Switch, like some of the textures look a little strange on like some of the doors, like the save doors, for example.
Yeah.
But overall, I still think it looks awesome.
So you mentioned you can't just play Persona. So what else are you playing?
Well, I'm playing quite a bit. So I was messing around with a lot of the GBA games. For example, like WarioWare, that spinny stick game, the Kuru game. Really all the GBA games. I wrote a quick little kind of review on those on the Don't Revive Your Friends website.
Wink.
Where you can, yeah, shameless plug, where you can kind of see some of my thoughts on it. So I've been messing around a lot with that. Another one that I've been playing is it's not really a game actually. It's the Korg gadget for Switch. It's essentially like a music creator. It's like a digital audio workstation for Switch. It's freaking awesome. It's got a bunch of different like synthesizers, drum machines, little things like that. So that's something I've been kind of playing alongside Persona. I mean, I'm playing quite a few other games as well. I kind of just included this past month of shit I've been playing. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun to mess around with just like the Core gadget, the Game Boy games, just like kind of games where I can play in little bursts. You know what I mean?
That Korg thing sounds pretty cool. It reminds me of you showed me a little bit of it. It kind of reminds me of the old days of like Fruity Loops and stuff like that, where there was like minimal. Like, I don't want to say minimal features, but it wasn't as robust as something out there now. But you could just mess around with it and actually do some fun stuff. Now, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing when it turns into that.
Right.
Like I'll just make a simple little tune and just go off that and be like, "Yay, I did it!" But do you think something like that is like viable for anybody looking to get into beat making or anything like that?
I would say it's actually a great start, and honestly, if you can make something on that, you can probably make it on anything. One of my favorite rappers, Big Crit, he makes his own like beats and everything, and I remember this quote from him on this PlayStation game. I think it was like MTV Music Generator or something he used to play back in the day. And he said something along the lines of like, if you can make a beat on that shit, you can make it on anything. And it's kind of the same thing with the Core gadget. Like if you're able to whip up a fun little beat or song on there, like you can probably those skills will translate to really any other digital like workstation. So I think it is viable. I mean, there's definitely a lot of limitations to it, but you can make some pretty cool things. Maybe the outro music for this podcast will be the beat I made on there. Who knows?
Oh, that'd be cool, actually.
Yeah.
So there you go, aspiring rappers and beat makers. Do people go by beat makers? What would you consider yourself?
The GOAT, but no, probably like I guess a producer. A lot of people, maybe a DJ.
Producers.
I don't.
Future Timberlands.
I just make shitty little trap beats that I think sound kind of cool, and I'll put like little video game beats, as like some visuals. So check out my YouTube page. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, heck yeah. And we'll put that in the description as well. And that's pretty cool. So anything else that you're playing on there?
Let's see here. So I've been playing a little bit of Riders Republic, which I'm sure you'll probably talk about. I don't want to steal your spotlight on that. I have not a whole lot of it though, to be perfectly honest. I've only played a couple of multiplayer sessions with you and just a little bit of single player here and there. And then a lot of NBA Live 19, which I'm actually in the process of writing a review on. So I'm pretty excited for that. I know who's writing an NBA Live review in 2023. Losers like me who get bored of 2K and want to look at old rosters and mess around with the gameplay of old basketball games.
I want to touch on that for a second. Like now with the world of 2K, for you sports geeks out there who play NBA 2K, how does going back to NBA Live feel?
It's weird. It's actually kind of a nice like sidestep from 2K. I've played so much 2K in the last like 10 years. Like I'm a huge franchise player. So like what I'll do, I'm weird. I like looking at stats. So like I'll do like full 12-minute quarters, which is the length of an actual NBA game, and 82 game seasons. And I used to legit play through like that full 82 game seasons. Since I've gotten older and I'm not in college anymore, I don't have that same amount of free time. But
I can see why you beat Persona now.
Yeah, I like a slow burn. You know what I mean? But no, it's a nice like side stuff from 2K. Like it's different enough where it feels like a different game, but it's also kind of similar to in the same sense where you don't need to like rewire your whole brain to play. Like the controls are pretty similar. It feels somewhat similar. I mean, it is different, but like I feel like if you're familiar with how 2K plays and the button layout and everything, like you'll be able to pick it up and play. And that's actually one thing I really like about it is like it's pretty easy to just pick up and play compared to 2K. I mean, in 2K, like if you don't get a perfect release, like you literally don't make the jump shot. I don't have that issue in NBA Live, and it's kind of nice to be able to just, just put on a quick game and mess around with it. It's got some fun animations too that you never see in 2K, so that's always a nice little addition to it. So I like it. It's not better than 2K by any means. I wouldn't really suggest anyone to go back and play it, because why would you? But if you're bored and really love basketball and just want to kind of play something different than 2K, I mean, why not? It's probably like you could probably find it at like a Goodwill or a GameStop for like $10.
Yeah, I think it's on EA Play as well, actually.
It probably is. I mean, and it's still like visually it holds up well. It's not like you're going back and playing like NBA Live 05 where it's like, wow, like these graphics are way different. Like it looks really good. The player models look good. It's got a nice like ESPN broadcast.
They took the servers offline, right? So you can't play online anymore?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't messed around with the online. I'm more of like a franchise guy, or like I'll just do quick games. But if you're looking to play online, I believe you can't play anymore. But I mean, there's still some fun to be had with the franchise and quick games. And you can do like their version of My Player, which I think is like Create a Legend or I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's fun. I like it.
Well, that's good. I guess it's always fun to go back to NBA Live 19. It doesn't sound like it was long ago, but in the game world, it's already 4 years.
Well,
right?
It came out in 2018 when you think about it, so that's what, like 5 years ago now.
Yeah, so a lot has changed since then. And one thing, I mentioned the online, and it's probably not, available anymore. But one thing I noticed is going back to games like that, like when 2K, the servers are up for, a few years after, and you go, you know what, I really want to play this one again and feel how it feels. And it goes with anything, Halo, whatever. And I always get that nostalgic feel of playing it online, and then I go online and get crushed because there are people who have not left that game since it came out. Like they haven't upgraded and they've only been playing that for like fucking like 3,000 hours. And they're like, oh, this should be a good experience. And then you go on there and just get dominated. And it just, it makes me, I had that with Titanfall recently, Titanfall 2. Mm-hmm. I had such an amazing time with this game. And like you're like, well, who's going to be playing it now? Right. So I was just like, yeah, I'm going to go back and play it. I got my ass whooped like 15 matches straight.
Right.
And I was just like, I didn't have fun anymore. It ruined my experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the players who are still playing those older games, like they're gonna be good. So I'm sure there's like a thriving NBA Live community out there. I haven't really looked that deeply, but I'm sure the ones who still played are probably like they know how to score in like every possession. So I actually would like to play against some like NBA Live players out there. I think that'd be really fun. But I also probably get pretty mad too because like you're saying, I get crushed.
I would like to watch that. I think that would be very interesting to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking of streaming some NBA Live. It'd be quick games, but if anyone's interested in seeing NBA Live 19, I might stream some NBA Live 19. There you go.
Man, that's something. I don't think when it came out, I don't think I've seen people stream it. So I think that's a niche there for sure.
That's like my third plug this episode.
I noticed. I wasn't going to say anything, but you noticed it and called it out, so I'm happy for you.
It's my podcast. I'm doing some self plugs here. I'm taking over.
That's
fuck out of my way. Yeah.
So NBA Live review coming up on the site, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm interested in reading that. Anything else on deck, or anything you're looking to play after you finish these?
Well, I'm kind of in the process of playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. I kind of fell off of it because I got Persona 5 like right as I started Like a Dragon. I can't play like two RPGs at the same time. Yeah. I need like a mixture of like an RPG and like a fast action-packed game like an NBA Live or something like that, or even like a Game Boy game where I can play in quick bursts. So I dropped it. I was having a lot of fun with it. I really, really like the story and the characters, but it's been a couple weeks since I've had the chance to really pick it up again. And I think I might hold off until I finish a couple other games, and I'll definitely come back to it though.
I picked up on the can't play two RPGs at the same time. Now I think a big flaw in my mental capacity here of me when I'm playing video games is I will play something like, for example, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I love it so much, but I kind of tell myself, I say, don't burn yourself out on this game. So then I'll start something else, which is normally another RPG, right? And then I start playing that, and then I'm like stuck in this like limbo of Final Fantasy VII Remake so good, Persona 5 is so good, Chained Echoes is so good. What do I do? And then I end up like not playing anything at all. Like I'll go back to like Fortnite or Apex or something like that, and then those games will sit there for like another year before I pick it back up.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people have that same issue. I know I'm in the same boat. It's just I don't always want to sit down and play a long, like story-driven game. I want to just play with friends or just play something action-packed where I can kind of shut my brain off and not think.
And I always feel like I want to play a long game. Mm-hmm. That's like my mentality going into it. And then I look at the little tiles on like the PlayStation or Xbox and I go, I don't know. Like I get myself mentally prepared for it. I'm like, man, I'm bringing snacks. I'm bringing some drinks. I'm going to bring a blanket if it's cold. I'm going to sit here for a few hours and play Final Fantasy VII Remake. And then I'm like, maybe I'll play some Fortnite.
I think that's the whole like the idea of like, man, this is going to take me like 90 hours to beat. Like, do I really want to sit down and do this? I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like I'm going to go back to like reading a book. Like unless I'm not like a huge book reader, but I'll look at like a really thick book. I'm like Dune, for example. It's like, I really want to reread Dune, but it's like 400 pages long. Yeah. And it's like, this is going to take me a long time to do. I'd rather just read like a short like story or something.
I think me talking about this is slowly making me come to the realization of all my wife's complaints about me. So I don't think it's just video games now that I'm thinking about it, but yeah, it's the anticipation. Like, man, that's such a good game, but when you get to it, you're like, oh, it's such a long time. I mean, Dune is a fantastic book, by the way.
It is really good. I'll do the same thing with like a Netflix series or something. If I see a series is 2-3 seasons, like that's a huge commitment of time to sit down and watch something. I say that as I just started watching One Piece, which is like 1,000 episodes, but you get my point.
Well, that's a thing that's the reverse for me. Like I prefer like series with more than one season because I don't like waiting.
Like Attack on Titan.
Yeah. It's been since 2013 since we've been waiting for the 4th part or whatever.
Right. That's why I'm a huge movie fan, Sean. I love movies like Tron.
Okay. Yeah, Tron 2 coming soon.
Footloose.
Yeah, Footloose is a good one.
With Kevin Bacon.
I think everybody's going to learn throughout the Don't Revive Your Friends podcast your absolute knowledge of everything Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
Fantastic. And you totally didn't learn what he looked like recently.
No. I think that Snapchat you sent me was actually of Shia LaBeouf. That was not Kevin Bacon. LaBeouf? I don't know.
But yeah, there's just something about it. Like if I'm watching, like I recently restarted The Walking Dead and it's 11 seasons. Carl. And there's something like comforting knowing that there's 11 seasons. Like I'm not going to run out of the show for a while. You know what I mean? I always have something to watch.
It could also be too that you've seen it and you kind of know what to expect. Like watching a new series that's like really intense can be like freaking stressful. Like I look at like the first time I watched The Walking Dead, like it was a stressful experience.
Yeah, and it still kind of is, even knowing what happens. But I've only seen up to season 5, and then I stopped. So I was like, it'd be cool. But it's like The Office has 9 seasons, and I watch, the first 7 of them. So and then I restart it again and act like the last 2 didn't happen.
Right. I think season 6 is the one where Meryl comes back, right, to life. All right. Daryl's brother. I'm kidding. I have no idea. I'm just making that up.
Man, you know what? So many people have accidentally told me spoilers. I know season 6 was like 10 years ago at this point in time, but so many people have accidentally told me spoilers for shows that like I kind of didn't catch at the start. And I'm like, I'm going to start this. And they're like, oh, it's so cool when this happens. I'm like, well, now my anticipation's gone. Like my excitement's gone for this. What the hell?
I could hear the disappointment in your voice when I said that.
I was kind of bummed out because I was like, wait, because like I'm in season 1 or season 2 when they're kind of having like talks with him and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh man, it's probably back.
I mean, it's not a spoiler to say like certain like things that everyone knows, like when Carl's in a wheelchair. Like you've seen that, right?
All right. All right. I'm catching on now. Internet, don't spoil things for your friends. Okay?
Right.
I'm starting a new podcast after this. Don't spoil your friends. Okay? And it's very rude. I've seen people even post on Facebook and Twitter and everything the moment it happens, like on a show.
Yeah.
The moment something, that to me is wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody that follows you and maybe hasn't seen it, even time zone related, like it was, I can't be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how people do that, have that good conscience, like I'm going to talk about this in the moment. Like people work and stuff, man. They don't have time to watch everything that instant. I'm sorry that you have 24 hours straight to binge season 4 of Stranger Things. But, like, I got to get up in the morning to work.
Yeah, but, I mean, people get excited. They want to share things, like, whether it's good or bad that happened. I mean, that's like when you missed that game winner in 2K. Like, I shared that everywhere.
Yeah, but the negative is I never heard the end of it.
Right.
And I don't think that's going to stop anytime soon. So,
spoiler alert, Sean missed.
I missed horribly. I wasn't ready. I was jet lagged. I was sick all week.
Did you get my Snapchat of me imitating it on the courts?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that. Loud and clear. Now I wish we could save Snapchats because I would post it. I would link it.
I think this is the last podcast I'm going to be on. I'm like pretty sure.
We'll see if anybody else answers the call next week or not.
Fucking anyone else. Jesus.
So, all right. So that's cool. So you're messing around with beats. You're playing long-ass RPGs.
Mm-hmm.
You're diving into Riders Republic, which I have to say is a fantastic game. It's been out a year, and you and I got this at the same time, kind of on a whim. I was reading a bunch of reviews being like, should I, shouldn't I? And you're like, I'm getting it. And I was like, yeah, fuck it. All right, I'll get it. Like, that's how easily, like, persuaded I am.
Yeah.
And it's great. That's one that I've been playing a lot of. And I've actually I've put quite some time into it. Because I needed some sort of racing game, and I fell in love with The Crew 2 back in the day, and this is like the same team that made that, and Steep, and man, it's just really kept my interest. Like it's a game that I want to get better at. Again, we're late to the party, right? It's a year later, so you and I have entered these big like multiplayer races, 65 person multiplayer races, and you just get crushed instantly. Like there's no hope for anyone. But it's fun. I think that's the biggest thing. Normally if I'm losing a lot in a game, I'm like, you know what? Everybody else, this game is terrible. And it's never me. I'm never the problem. But this one, no. I want to keep getting better and better.
It's a lot of fun. I'll be honest, I almost stopped playing like the minute I opened up the menu system and saw all the microtransactions. I'm kind of surprised I kept playing. Like,
yeah,
it's a lot.
It's overwhelming.
It is. In the map itself is overwhelming. I'm like, yeah, this ain't it, Chief. But then I think once we actually started playing multiplayer, that's when I started having a lot of fun. I think the only like gripe I have though is it does feel a little pay to win. I mean, part of it, like you're saying, is just not knowing how to play, and people are really good. But also too, like if you don't have the good gear, you are at a disadvantage.
Well, you can't actually buy the gear.
Right.
Which is good. So
let me complain.
Well, I'm just saying that's a good thing, because I hate that. I hate that in games, like the pay to win systems. I absolutely dislike that. This you're buying like clothing. Like if you want to be a giraffe with a long ass neck, yeah, you could spend $20 to do that, but it's not going to slow you down. It's not going to make you faster. Now, you have to spend a lot of money for anything clothes wise. You know what I mean? Any of the clothes that I found are not entertaining, and there's no like shop, in like Grand Theft Auto or games like that, like you could walk around, customize your character, buy clothes for the in-game currency. This one, it's mostly shell out $20. So I think that's a big gripe of mine too. I'm with you on that, and the fact that multiplayer, other than the big races, take quite some time to find a match.
That's true with a lot of games, to be honest. Like, it's pretty hard to... I mean, there are games where you just jump right in and play, but, like, even, like, 2K, for example, it takes way too long to find a game. Like, I just want to, like, jump in. Like, I don't have hours to just sit there and like I feel like I waste a good like 20 minutes each time I play for like an hour session just waiting for the next game.
And I miss the days where it was just a fucking menu,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like these lobbies are cool, and I get it, right? Everybody's paying to show off their costumes and stuff like that, but just put me in a menu, let me hit quick match, and then find me a match. Like I don't want to have to load up, like you said. It takes like 5 minutes to load up to the lobby, and then in 2K, God forbid, it spawns you across the map, and you got to walk a half an hour across the city.
You could buy a go-kart though for $100.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you could pay to fast travel, I guess. And then by the time you get there, then you get in the lobby. Then the lobby breaks. Somebody gets kicked out. Then you got to restart. Everybody's got to restart their game, do it all again. By the time that happens, like I don't want to play anymore. You know, I'm just like, God, we wasted an hour trying to get into one match.
Yeah, especially if you lose. Like you're already kind of bummed.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to wait even longer. I mean, I think in Riders Republic, it was like literally a 20-minute wait time for like those big races. I know it's like supposed to be a big event.
Yeah.
But, like that's a long time to wait.
Now those are and it's crazy too because those are like 25 minutes in between each other, which is fine, right? But yeah, I want to just press X and find 65 people to race with at any point in time.
Yeah, and then sometimes like the races itself. I mean, how long is it? Like you're racing for like 10 minutes.
Well, it might even be a little longer than that. I think it's like 6 minutes per, and there's 3 rounds. So maybe you're in there like 20 minutes. I
think I'm thinking of the like the smaller races. That like you have to like
the small race. We waited like a half an hour for one race, and it was about like 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? Just wasted 10 minutes of my life.
So I do miss that. I miss the menu. Just press start and go. Mm-hmm. Even this is a little complainy on my end, but even like Fortnite, right? You get into this lobby and you sit there for like a minute and a half most of the time, just dancing around, listening to the same music over and over and over until everybody joins. One game that's got it right is Apex. There's no lobby. It just brings you to a screen. It says players loading, and it's fast every time.
It's most games are like that nowadays. I'm thinking about Street Fighter 6 for some reason. I don't know if you've seen like their like multiplayer lobbies. It's basically the same thing as like Riders Republic and all those other like lobby based games. Like I'm so worried that like I'm gonna be waiting like 10 minutes between rounds for like the next fight.
Yeah, because it does seem really cool though. It seems like when you look at it, you're like, oh man, that looks awesome. I can go to the arcade and like watch them kind of King of the Hill style and then maybe get into it. But you're right. What if the lobbies themselves diminish because people don't want to walk around and stuff like that? They just want to get in there and fight.
Yeah, I hate waiting.
Yeah, and that is an impatience thing the older you get, for sure. But it's like, man, I just want to play. I want to play your game, right? I don't want to, in my Street Fighter game, I don't want to walk around the city looking for a fight. I just want to fight.
You're fucking Disneyland, you know?
Yeah. In NBA, I don't want to have to go stare at courts and wait for another match to finish up and hope that somebody wants to partner with me.
I got next.
Yeah, and oftentimes my character's not great, so people will see it, and it's like not high up there, and they're like, nah, and they'll just stand there and wait for me to get off, and then they hop on like with their buddy or somebody, and like then I'm stuck waiting another 20 minutes. It's like I don't have time for that. I just want to play.
They take one look at me and like, oh my god, a slow 70 overall small forward who can't shoot. Yeah, this guy's not joining my squad.
Yeah, it's bad. And I don't know. I think with the addition of, microtransactions or cosmetics mainly, you're getting all these lobbies that, like, especially if you think about like first-person shooters, you can't see them on you, but you got to show them off. Mm-hmm. So why not go into the lobby, run around so everybody can see your skin for a few minutes before you drop in and you die 10 seconds later, and then you got to do it all over again.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just wild to me. But other than that, I think Riders Republic's fantastic. The gameplay itself is fun. I've been finding challenges around the map where you have to like do like parkour on your bike and stuff like that. And I for those who don't know, it's motorcycles, it's snowboards, wingsuits, it's skis. I think that's it, but it's racing essentially. It's like downhill mountain bike racing. which I highly encourage everybody to do in first person if you don't get sick easily. And there's like challenges scattered throughout and collectibles. I found myself the other night like just roaming around the map for a good like hour and a half. Like I was like, I'm gonna go to bed in an hour, and I went an extra half an hour just looking for like photo opportunities and like little like treasures. They have like hidden like vehicles and stuff like that you can use across the map. And I found a cardboard like wingsuit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which is cool. And then they give you a challenge of what you could do with the wingsuit. It's just silly, and it's just a lot of fun. And if you play with your friends and explore, or God forbid you got to wait a half an hour for a 4-minute match, that 4-minute match is still fun. But
yeah, and you can free roam too, like in between matches. So it's not like you're sitting there just like twiddling your thumbs.
Yeah, you can do
still
other
pretty
stuff.
fun to do.
Yeah.
Which one of the races do you like the best?
I actually like the big 65 person race.
What do you like, the bikes or the snowboard?
Oh, you mean which style?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm going with the bikes.
I like the little BMX bikes to do little tail whips and like bar spins.
Yeah, anything with the bikes, the BMX or just the downhill ones. I actually do put it in first person, and it feels crazy. I don't know what it is, but there was one where I didn't even have to do it. Like I completed one of the challenges. It was like finish in this amount of time, but I did that time, but I didn't finish first. And I was so determined that I played it like 5 more times in a row just to make sure I got first place. It didn't give me anything extra, but I was just like having that much fun with it. I was like, I don't mind doing this over and over again. It was like a 2.5 minute race. So I was like, let's keep going. So
I think I've always wanted to be a BMXer. I don't know about you, like to ride one of those little bikes, but I think I'm too bony for it. Like my knees like stick out too much.
No, one time I took a BMX bike off this like ramp that we made. It was like a skate ramp, but we attached plywood to it. Okay. And it had 2 pieces, the start and the landing there. And I made it over, and I tried to like lift my hands up like woo, and I came down and crashed the crown jewels into the bar of the bike, like real hard, and then flipped over the handlebars. And after that I never wanted to do anything ever like that. Like I'm fine with just give me a regular old mountain bike. And
right, it looks so cool though.
It looks cool, but that was very painful.
Style over substance, man.
I had to have been like 12 years old. But it was the same thing with skateboarding. I tried skateboarding, and I ended up popsicling myself doing just a regular kickflip over like 4 stairs. And the moment I get injured doing something, I don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped skating. Like for the same reason I stopped skating, because I kind of fucked up my leg, and I'm like, too old for this.
Yeah. You kind of need your leg. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Well, that's how I feel. If I have it intact, I want to keep it that way. I don't want to hurt myself. Same thing, Razor scooters, remember those?
Oh, dude, my fucking ankles would get smashed by those things whenever I try a little tail whip.
Yeah, your ankles would get smashed. The first time mine unhooked itself going downhill, because it wasn't tightened all the way, and I scraped my chin across the pavement. I said, nope, somebody come steal this thing out of my yard. I don't want to ride this anymore, please.
Is that why you have a butt chin now?
Yeah, it's exactly why. I slammed that fucker hard into the ground.
Right? Fucking got a butt crack chin. That's why I don't mess around with like any like super fast like adrenaline pumping sports. This is why I just do this. Hope you can hear this. That's a tech deck, people. I just popped a mean ollie right now. I don't mess with skateboarding in real life. I just tech deck.
I think you should be a tech deck spokesperson. Is that possible?
It's possible if they're paying.
Tech deck, listen up.
Hangtime did not get paid for his last article, so please pay him to sponsor some fingerboard videos.
Can you imagine being sponsored by Tech Deck? That would be pretty wild.
Holy shit, Tech Deck and Manscaped. Those are my dreams.
Let us know out there if you're into tech decking and manscaping, and we'll see what we can do.
Your finger hairs.
Oh my god, there you go. Good for that slow-mo reel right there.
Yeah.
I liked
Shiny
tech decks
fingers.
as a kid. I thought they were really cool.
Yeah.
And now you're borderline peer pressuring me to buy some. So for myself and my family.
You should buy the half pipe, yeah. I just bought a cool rail off of Amazon for like $20. Great purchase.
Yeah. See, I'm gonna like spend my money very unwisely here soon because of you.
You're welcome. And so while I was playing Riders Republic, waiting for the next game, I would just pop some mean mollies and kickflips, you know?
I'm into it. I do want to get another one. It's been a while. I had the old Element ones. They had Element. Tony Hawk's was what? Birdhouse, right?
Birdhouse, yep.
Birdhouse. I had some Birdhouse ones.
Jimmy Flip.
Yeah. So my son liked the Tony Hawk games. So to me now that's an excuse. Like, oh, well, he'll like these too. Even though it'll be mostly for me because he'll get bored of it in 10 seconds. So I think a tech deck is going to make its way to my house sometime soon here.
It's a great choice, honestly.
Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored. Hashtag could be sponsored. Okay.
Will be.
Will be.
Will be sponsored.
But yeah, other than Riders Republic, I've been playing a lot of Saints Row. Terrible game. But great game. I have no idea how I feel about this game. I love the Saints Row series. 1, 2, even 3. I liked 3. This one though, the reboot, it's like a millennial fantasy. That's all I can think of. It's millennial fantasy.
Millennials.
Where they make jokes about like pushing HR forms and like, buying a toast, like a toaster or something like that. It's not Saints Row in terms of the story. It's not a group of absolute crazy hooligans looking to take over the city. It's more like, we need a job. And I don't want to hear that after work. I just want to go and blow shit up. Which you can do in this game. Go ahead.
I've never really played a Saints Row game. Is it just like GTA, but like a little bit more over the top?
So the first two is like gang warfare. They focus on the gangs, right?
Shit.
Which is awesome. And the story is really cool. And it's like emotions within the gangs. And they do over the top shit for sure. But the first two are just masterclass in how you tell stories and how you experience them. I think it's really cool. And then the third one, they just get wild. They get absolutely crazy with their weaponry. There's a gun that launches. It summons a shark to come out of the ground and like eat your enemies. And there's a dubstep gun in one of them.
Is it too over the top? It almost sounds kind of like
the third one is, yeah.
Yeah, it sounds a little bit overused with the word cringe. Like sometimes games try too hard to be a video game. If that makes sense, like, I don't know.
The story's okay, right? So in the Saints Row, like, evolution, you start off as lowly gang members, right? Trying to build your way up. And then by the time you get to the fourth one, the Saints are you run the United States. Or you're president of the world or something like that.
Fuck Drew Brees.
So it's, that's what it becomes. Mm-hmm. Now, it's pretty cool to see how it gets there, if I'm being honest. And the first 3 games are okay. 4 it's 50-50. A lot of people hated it. A lot of people liked it. They introduced like superpowers. You're fighting aliens now. It is over the top, but they wanted to make sure they pushed it away from Grand Theft Auto, which I think it had some pretty epic moments in here. Fantastic. This one though, it's very buggy, extremely buggy. For example, I finished a mission yesterday where the guy one of the main characters wants to do target practice on the roof of the car, right? So he's on there, you're shooting all the bad guys and you're escaping, and then all of a sudden the mission ends. It's like, oh my God, glad we got out of there. He's still in the car. My game glitched to where I hit a bump and that guy flew off the car towards the camera, like full speed. And I still completed the mission. Yeah, I actually recorded the clip of it. I'll post it.
Okay.
And it's just very bizarre. Like, shit like that happens all the time. Stuff that is not supposed to, but does.
Sometimes it adds to, like, the charm of the game. Like, I think of, like, Skyrim.
Yeah.
My dad, he doesn't really watch us play games, or when I lived at home, he never really watched us play games, but when he did watch Skyrim, like, one time, like, the one time he ever watched us play it, fucking, like, mammoth fell from the sky. So he just knew that game as the game where mammoths fall out of the air, which I think is hilarious. So, like, sometimes it kind of adds to, like, the like the charm and like the fun of the game, seeing those crazy bugs. Do you think it's like the same thing as for Saints Row?
It can be. There are some that are like that, but there's also game breaking bugs which make you mad. Before you get access to this thing called the war table, which lets you pick, places of the city that you're going to take over and place your property. You can actually interact with the table before you actually unlock it, and it freezes your game. Like,
great.
You can't get out of the screen. The game's not frozen, but you're stuck in this like menu, and you can't move, and you have to restart. So hopefully you had a good autosave or an actual save, because if not, you're gonna lose some progress.
You're fucked.
So,
yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. So it begs the question to me. It's like, why with like Saints Row, such a AAA game in my eyes, at least the first 3-4 of them, and it's getting this reboot and it's being touted as the next evolution. Like, why are these games coming out with all these bugs? Like, you see them all over, like Hitmarker, which is a game-related career website where they're hiring for testers everywhere. Mm-hmm. So it's like, why are people not actually testing the games before they're launching at $70 fucking dollars?
I think what it is that they have the ability to patch games after they come out. So I think it's just kind of like, fuck it, just roll with it. We can patch it. I mean, I have no insight into the games industry. I'm literally just making that up, but it sounds true.
But that's what they do, though. You're right. They launch the game, and then they go, we'll fix it after. But it's like, you've already got people's money. Like, why not make good on it? You know what I mean? I don't want to buy a broken game and then have somebody fix it. Like, could you imagine going to store, right? And you're like, I would like this pottery. And then somebody just fucking smashes it in front of you.
Is this a Link reference here?
Yeah. And then they hand it to you, right? And they're like, hey, don't worry, we'll fix it. In about 2 weeks. We'll come to your house and we'll fix this for you. That would be fucked up.
It's a very obscure reference. I've never bought pots before, but
me either. I've never bought pottery. I don't know why. That's the first thing that came to my head. I was just thinking of easily breakable shit, and pottery seemed to be the first thing that came to my mind.
Except for maybe your ankles.
Well, so that does it for the Don't Revive Your Pot.
Yeah, I got some cankles there,
Well, yeah, they're getting pretty close to that now.
So Saints Row, play it? Don't play it?
So I got it on sale, okay. Had a $5 Xbox gift card, and it was on sale for like $25. So I got it for $20. I would say worth it for $20. At full price, hell no. Do not pick it up. And that hurts me to say because I love Saints Row. Yeah, if you can get it on sale, I would scoop it up and have fun. I've put 30 some hours into it. At this point, you
could put that 30 into Persona, man. Come on.
I could have. It's a much better game.
Or learn the language.
It's such a much better game. But it's fun if you want to take a few moments and, like I said, just blow shit up, shoot a few things around as a criminal enterprise. I think it's okay.
I don't know if that's like my type of game. I've never been like the biggest like Grand Theft Auto sandboxy game fan. I don't know what it is. I think I need some sort of a mission, which I know it does have missions, but I'm interested in it. Maybe like I need to see some gameplay of it. I've never really played a Saints Row game, so I don't really have any connection to it, but it sounds intriguing.
I would buy it for the bugs. I would get Saints Row 2. That's my recommendation for any Saints Row games. Get Saints Row 2. Even 1. I seen 1 on the Xbox store on sale for like $1.49.
I need an Xbox, goddammit.
It's well worth it. Yeah, you buy an Xbox for cheap now, too, which is great. The Xbox Series S. Hello, Microsoft. Wink. But $149 for that, and Saints Row 2 was always like $5. And it's a fantastic game. It's really great. I would pay, honestly, $30 again for Saints Row 2 if I didn't own it.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's an old-ass game, but it's a lot of fun. The sandbox games are overwhelming, and I think that's the biggest thing, is you can get sidetracked easily and actually feel like you've made no progress. Like, oh my gosh, there are collectibles everywhere in every Saints Row game, every GTA game, and sometimes there's like 500 collectibles, right, which is a lot. And you can spend 2 hours just doing collectibles, and you're only 1/4 of the way, and you didn't do anything.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's like hard to, when you're in a sandbox game like that, like feel like you've progressed. And I think that's why story-based games like Persona, even Persona's open world and you can get sidetracked in there, but it kind of sticks you to a structure. It forces you to move to the next day eventually. But yeah, I think open world games are just too, it's just too much. It's just too much to do anymore.
I'm going to say it here on this podcast because I know we have many listeners out there right now. I'm not a big fan of explosions. I think they're overrated.
Like in games or in real life?
In movies and games, well, the only explosions I see in real life are on the toilet. But, sorry, like in movies and in games, like it never does it for me. Like the guy walks away from a huge explosion or like, I'm a huge movie fan. So whenever I watch like Marvel movies, there's like all these explosions, the world is ending. It doesn't do it for me. I don't know.
So you're calling out Michael Bay.
He did Black Panther, right? I'm kidding. No, Transformers.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. No, I
Midformers.
Midformers. I can resonate with that a little bit. Like, there's sometimes where it's way too much.
Have you ever been like, whoa, after an explosion in a movie?
No, I don't think so.
See, what is the point of having them?
I think I'm more interested in like well choreographed fight scenes.
Not a green screen.
Quick recommendation on fight movies. Ip Man, IP.
That's really good. I actually have seen that, surprisingly.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. Mike Tyson's in the third one, I think, which is pretty crazy. If you have not seen it and you like Mortal Kombat or anything like that, watch Ip Man.
I think really, Jake really Paul's coming to the next one.
God damn it.
Why, oh boy.
Anyways, those are all the games I'm playing, and only one of them have explosions. But so I'm sorry, so you won't like that game. But that's really it. I'm just trying to bounce back and forth between backlog and games I have missed that I wanted to pick up that are now currently on sale, and making absolutely probably no headway on any of the games, and then I'll forget about them for another 2-3 years, and then be good.
There's too many games out there, man.
There's never such a thing as too many games.
There's too many games out there.
Yeah, you're right.
No, but I think looking at our backlogs of games we want to play would be an interesting pod to do.
I think we should do that maybe next time, and if there's no crazy news. Yeah, no, you're probably not. Yeah, I don't think
this
so.
Is my last one.
No, I think that's a good idea, and we would like to know, obviously, what you out there in the internet world are playing. Let us know. We want to hear it, and what you're going to be playing, and maybe we can take a look at some of that and talk about it next time.
Yeah, it sounds like a plan. I'm actually really interested to see what people are playing out there, as long as it's not a game with explosions.
Which is about 90% of games nowadays.
Yep.
Anyways,
a video game again.
That has been the Don't Revive Your Friends podcast. We will be back next time. Not going to give you a date there. See what I did? Anticipate it. Okay, wait for it. I've been your co-host, Sean, alongside Hangtime. We'll see you.
Deuces.
Don't revive your friends.